To be alive. Hello, LinkedIn. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Facebook. Streaming live on multiple platforms. As usual, stay tuned. I could say, and this is not a guarantee, but I could, or my brilliant guest today, could say something brilliant at any moment now. See, one of the biggest mistakes I see people going when they go from being an employee, sometimes in a job they hate, to go an entrepreneur, they think, okay, here's the goal. The goal is let me replace my income. I've even seen people say or think or feel, even if I make less, but I'm doing something I love, I'll be better off. I got news for you. This is not a good way to go. The first thing I advise anyone doing this is to at least start with the goal of taking your yearly income, whatever you're doing, make that your monthly income, and that's the first goal to start with. Might be a stretch for some, but it's a good way to go. Our guest today, okay? Before we start, I'm going to tell her, everybody, your name. Nancy Badillo, 2 L's. It could be pronounced Badigio if you have the right pronunciation. She's like this close to having 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. So just type in YouTube, Nancy Badillo with 2 L's, and just go subscribe first thing in the morning for just to get her to that 100K mark. On Instagram, she doesn't have a lot of followers, like 85,000 or something like this. But most importantly, she's what I call a autofill type of gal. Imagine what that would do for your business. If your clients, vendors, people you do business with would start to type your name and Google would autofill your name for the business. Some people are fighting, like there's a new social platform, right? And then they're fighting for, let's say there's John, the accountant, and then John, the dentist, and then TikTok comes around. So they want to go there first to have their name. No, that's not like that. Autofill on Google for your name for your business. So without further ado, let's bring in Nancy Badillo.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
what a good introduction.
Can you hear them going wild?
Yes, I can.
Good Lord. How does it feel? First off, before we get to the story and the whole thing, how does it feel to be an autofill gal? How's that for fun?
It's pretty amazing. It is amazing that, not only when people are searching, but also how Google recommends certain certain things based on your name and based on your product. So anytime somebody types in XC tips, Google recommends my name automatically and starts pushing out my videos, my blog content, or anything else that I have created. So it's pretty amazing to be able to kind of like dominate your niche within Google and other large search engines because it definitely does drive you tons and tons of free organic traffic.
Good Lord, that's amazing. I was interviewing on the show here uh, 15 episodes back the president of the Global Speakers Association, Steve Lowell, an introvert. I used to stutter like you see in the movies. I could not even speak. So I was started below introvert. One of my clients, international keynote speaker with his own TV show, Introvert. Nancy, autofill gal. I just realized this when I typed your name before the show to get your website right. Because at the end, I'm going to say, if you want more information about Nancy, go to this link. So I just typed in that. There's all these autofills about you, girl. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Total introvert. You actually okay. So, can you tell us about how you flip it on, how you flip it off, what goes on before you start making videos, how terrified you were before you started the whole thing? You wouldn't even want to show your face to make your videos to promote your business. Just walk people through all of that so they understand you're just born famous or something.
Oh no, and I'm just tapping the surface right now. Not no one big at all. But when I first started YouTube about 4 years ago, I knew that video marketing is like the way to go. It's the future. I mean, as you can see right now, everything is video. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if LinkedIn pretty soon have something, or they probably already do, and I'm not in it right now. But I knew video marketing was the way to go. But being an introvert, as you probably know, you're scared of being in camera, you're scared of speaking in front of people. It is very challenging as an introvert. So when I first started, what I did was I was like, okay, well, I'll do screen share. And I started providing a lot of value by just providing screen share, doing XC critiques for free for people. I did that actually for 3 years, XC free critiques for whole 3 years. And I just started doing baby steps, just recording my screen and providing value. And what happened was over time, the more I did that, the confidence starts to build up and you actually get better and better and better. If you go back to 4 years ago, I cringe. I don't even want to see them, but they're horrible videos. And I did have a few videos that I showed my face. And on top of that, I was pregnant as well when I started my YouTube channel. So I had a lot of stuff
Going on.
going against me.
Yeah.
But doing it little by little. And I want to say within a year and a half, someone told me you need to start showing your face, and I was like, what do you know, like you don't even do YouTube. Like I didn't take their advice, and then something hit me and I'm like, they're probably all right. So I started doing videos with my face. I started putting my actual face in my thumbnail, because before that I was using like random stock images.
Yeah.
And when I did that, I kid you not, if you go back to those videos, you'll see it, every single subscriber was like, finally we get to see you, finally we see you. And that kind of helped me take off on YouTube.
The the basic research I did for so a few thousand, so let's say maybe 1,000 subscribers or so with the screenshot and the corporate looking thumbnails,
Yeah.
to 100K coming very soon with that type of transition. That's what we're
Yeah.
looking at.
Exactly. It really did make a difference for my audience. When they saw me in camera, I remember the first few months, it was just like, that was like the most common comment. Hey, we're so glad to see you. Hey, we're so happy to finally see you. And what it really did was build a relationship with people. Now people knew who they were listening to, and it built that like trust factor that you don't get if you don't show up and show your face. So it was a definitely game changer for me. You know, fast forward 4 years later, and I've been in the space for 13 years. I still get nervous, even doing this podcast right now, even when I go and do a live in IGTV or I do my webinars, I still get scared. But I know that in order for my business to continue to grow, in order for me to lead in my niche, I need to show up. And it just looks like it's not going to stop anytime soon, because video is like taking over. So it's just
Ain't
something
going
that I
nowhere.
have to just, exactly, I just have to get comfortable with. And with more practice and doing podcasts and doing YouTube videos and doing webinars, I actually get better and better and better. And that's with anyone, with anything you do in life. Obviously, the more practice you do, the better that you get at it.
Now it's video, give it a few years, it's full on virtual reality. And the ones who will have the actual body and presence will have more engagement than the ones who have like the generic, cartoon looking things. It's the same game and the same game. By the way, I did not know that you were still a bit iffy about it, girl. We can maybe speak afterwards if you like. I have a few tricks, by the way, but
Um,
I don't want to put you on the spot. What's your best guess of where would things have been had you not taken that leap of faith? Had you not gotten the balls, the courage, the heart, the soul, you told me the stories about when the recession hit, or what if someone's listening and then there's illness that happens in the family. And what's your best guess of where would your business be, considering everything that you don't need to tell? You tell the part you want to tell. Had you not stepped in and gone that stepping up part, where's your best guess of where the business would be now?
are you referring more of taking the leap and doing entrepreneurship, or are you talking about more the video marketing aspect
Yeah.
of it?
So for okay, let's take two tracks. We have Nancy, right? Who is at a point where she realizes I gotta do video marketing. I gotta put my face on video. For a lot of people, it's just public speaking. I have to go speak at a panel. I have to go speak at the Chamber of Commerce. I'm shy. They come to see me. Fixed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's you. It was not speaking at the Chamber of Commerce. For you, it was speaking on video. There's
Yes.
two tracks. There's one track where there's the one that you did. You did this. You put your yearly income into your monthly income, and then you had all these followers, and then you're bolting on businesses on top of your businesses, and you're doing that. Another track would just have stayed and listened to the voice that I'm too scared, I can't do this. I'm too self-conscious. I'm too afraid. What's your best guess on where that track would have led?
Yeah, I definitely think that when I started showing up on my videos, it was the game changer for me, for my business. It did help me take off. If I would have never done that and I would have just been stuck on, I'm just going to do screen shares, I'm just going to take the safe route and not show my face as much, not show my face as much on Instagram or any other platforms. um I was still growing, but it would have been very, very slow growth. I probably wouldn't be at close to 100,000 right now, maybe more like 30,000, who knows?
Just go subscribe, everybody. Right? She's like that close, just for the number, just for fun, right? Just round numbers. We all like round numbers.
But my course would have never took off, and other areas of my business would have never took off. And so yeah, it made a huge impact, me being on camera versus not being on camera, how my career ended up at the current moment, for sure.
And people listening to this who are thinking, I'm just going to play it small. I'm just going to replace my income. What happens when inflation hits record numbers in the next few years? What happens if there's illness in the family? What happens if there's, you know, I don't know, COVID? What happens if the impossible happens?
Mhm.
We need buffers. We need systems. Think about what you need. Go for 10x of that. Now, I almost did it last year. Almost hit 10x the income in less time. And
Mhm.
still, you need buffers in place because it's hard to plan during these times. If you're doing events, build
Exactly.
in buffers, people. Now,
Mhm.
another thing we'd like to touch on, which will help you make your yearly income your monthly income, if you're being all things to all people. Nancy, what happens to people when they niche down? Niche or niche down?
Yeah, I don't know which one's the right way. I always get corrected,
Yeah,
but
no, no.
how I say niche down. Niching down is like one of the best things you could do for your business, no matter what niche you're in, no matter if you sell products, if you sell services. Um, Practically, if I would have niched down a long time ago, I probably would have had a different story right now. So when I first started in 2009, I started because of the recession. I lost my home. I went through bankruptcy. I had to stop school. And it was like out of desperate need. I started researching how to make money online. I knew that people were making money online. I just didn't know of anyone. It's not as easy as now that there's so many people that actually are successful. Back then, I don't know who was real, who wasn't, but I just fell in love with digital marketing. I remember like making a penny and I'm like, oh my God, I just made a penny. Like, how can I make $100 now? Or how can I
The
make
first automated sale is the best. When you wake up and you see, you go like, oh, you're freaking out. The
that?
first one is
Exactly.
amazing.
Exactly. That's how I felt. But the issue with me was that I was all over the place. So I'm a self learner. So one of the things I probably would have done sooner was probably get some type of coaching or program to kind of guide me because I was all over the place. Like one minute I was a PPC specialist, the next minute I was an SEO specialist, the next minute I'm teaching people or talking about how to create a blog and make money from it because I was making money from it, but not enough to quit my full time job. The next minute, I'm teaching people how to flip websites. The next minute, I'm doing affiliate marketing. So all of these experiences, like I always say, you either win or learn. So they weren't failures, they got me where I'm at today. And I know a lot because of trying different areas. But if I would have niched down and I would have said, okay, I'm going to be a blogging expert or an SEO specialist or a social media strategist, I probably would have grown a lot quicker because I would have been able to build my authority. I would have been able to, when people search for specific things, I would have been the first person to be recommended, right? Like we talked about in the beginning. And niching down is the best thing you could do. A lot of people feel like if I niche down, I'm not going to be able to make sales. I'm not going to be able to grow my business. But it's actually, that's far from the truth. If you niche down, that's the quickest way to grow because you gain authority in a specific niche. That's why doctors that specialize in something get paid more than general, practice doctors. That's the reason why, because they specialize. So niching down is the first step. And then once you have an audience, once you start growing, then maybe you could start saying, okay, what else can I venture into based on what your audience is asking of you, or maybe interests that are relevant to what you do already. But niching down is what's the best thing I ever did. That's how my career kind of took off after that.
What is synergistic? What also helps? What other, see, you create a solution, right, to a problem they have. Once you fix that problem, there's another problem that comes up. So any type of synergistic things that you can build on. Now, I think this will relate to one of the businesses you have now, which is teaching what you used to do. I got this from the legendary Dan Kennedy, direct response mogul. Say you are a John the dentist and you figure out a way to get high paying clients for Invisalign things with some sort of a promotion that works really, really well, and you're maxed out. You're running at 500 a year, you're maxed out, everything is smooth. You take an extra few hours a week and you bolt on a lifestyle, highly profitable business, which is teaching other dentists in other cities your system. You systemize the thing. If you have a tanning salon or you have a coaching business, any type of specialized knowledge that you've built a system, something that works and is really good, you turn around and teach it. If you're an accountant, maybe not to other cities, but maybe other countries where the laws are different. So you don't have the specialized knowledge, but you have, on a per country basis, but you have the system and you can start teaching that. And how would you speak to someone getting great at something, then turning around, and what happens when you start teaching that?
Oh, it's amazing because if you're passionate about it, you already had great results with it. You're running a successful business. Teaching that information, it just it just evolves you even more as a person, as a entrepreneur. And what's great about it as well is that you're not trading hours for money. Basically, like you're creating something that, like me, I go to sleep and sometimes I wake up and I have like 7 sales on my course, and it's just an amazing feeling to wake up every day and have continuous sales. And I really didn't do anything. Yes, I did the upfront work. I did
The
the
leg work,
everything
the
together. I did the
brain work. Yeah.
everything. But once you do it, after that, it's more of the marketing and promoting it all the time out there, by creating obviously valuable content on social media, on YouTube, on podcasts, on your blog, and anywhere else that you promote your business. But it's just something that you could create and then just it's autopilot after that. As long as you do the work, obviously, it doesn't passive income does is not as easy as everyone makes it out to be. But when you do the work and you have systems in place and processes in place, it just makes it so much easier. You could take a day off and still make money, which is amazing.
Money while you sleep, people, is a promise that they give you in every marketing pitch. It is a lie. You have to work your ass off to get it. But once you do, oh my Lord, the feeling of waking up to money automatically deducted, downloaded into your bank account is one of the best feelings I've ever seen. And it's also a fuel of motivation and addiction. There's a guy named Alex Becker who became a millionaire by purposely taking his addiction and being addicted to checking his Stripe account. So by the
Uh,
concept, Stripe is the payment processor for a lot of online things that we sell. So you were
mhm.
just looking at this Stripe thing. All so what he wanted is to always get something. So instead of being addicted to drugs or sex or rock and roll, he just put it there instead.
Mhm.
So I have someone who joined in the back door here named CC. Is that one of like your assistant, your friend?
Oh, that's my husband.
Oh, hello, CC. Hi. Thank you for being here. All right, just checking. Yes, sir. Got a great catch there, sir. So, yeah, I'll leave it to you, Nancy, for the final words of wisdom. But before, just encourage everyone listening. I'm speaking to a guy named John. Okay, also a few Joannas, but I'm 80% John, 20% Joannas. John, I know getting out there and speaking can be scary. Nancy here, she started her business out of necessity, and
Mhm.
it was too scary. So she started doing a thing called a screen share, which you can start making videos without showing your face. Her business was, chugging along like a like a pontoon. A little dude, like a little pontoon. At one point, she got the internal will, the internal force, the internal drive, like you have. You know you should be speaking out there. You know it's the speaking is the highest paid profession in the world. Everybody knows that. Okay, just check it out. So she put that aside somehow, and yet she just told me she's still a bit like iffy about it, but she does it. She turns it on and turns it off to do it. Now, when she did that, her business went from a pontoon to a speedboat. It's not overnight, and there's a bunch of problems, but it went and it did. And she's on a rocket ship now. So she did this by niching down and synergistically bolting on a business on top of her existing business, which was teaching other people that wanted to do what she was doing already successfully how to do that. Now, this business is teaching is also highly profitable if you do it right. So, John, keep that in mind. I know you're scared, can happen, but on the other side of that fear is something greater than you can imagine. And she could not even tell me when I asked her, what does it look like? What would it look like if you had not gone through that leap of faith? She was like, I don't know, but nothing good. So, John, you're in the same situation. If you keep staying stuck in that thing, is a slight chance something good happening out of this. So, leave it to Nancy for the last words of wisdom because she's amazing. And please, Badigio, is it Badi? Yeah?
Yes, you got it right.
Yeah, but I feel like I like the G. There's something like the Geo. Not it's not Joe like I say. It's a Geo, right?
No, it's Joe Badillo.
Okay, Badijo. Thank you. So final words of wisdom from Nancy, and then for anyone, John, you're listening to this, or anyone wants to know more information about Nancy, we go to again. It's autofill anyway, but Nancy Badillo, Badijo.com. I say Badillo because it's Badillo, and I'll also put the link in the show notes so you can just click on it. Final
Awesome.
words of wisdom, please.
So my final words of wisdom are if you are right now trying to start a business and you feel like no no matter what you do is not growing, keep in mind that growing a sustainable business takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. A lot of people, you might see them like, oh, well, she grew her business in 2 years. But what you don't see is that 8 years before that, we tried everything and anything and we failed. And we learned so much in the last 8 years that the 2 years when we did niche down or we found our winning product or service or whatever it is, it kind of took off a little bit. But it's because of years that we put into it. So it doesn't happen overnight. Anyone that says that is lying. It does not happen overnight. It takes a lot of work. And remember, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Your first podcast is going to be horrible. Your first video is going to be horrible. Your first product that you create or mock up or whatever you're doing is going to be horrible. With time and consistency, it will get better. You will get better. It just takes time to grow a business. Don't believe the hype that will happen with a push of a button. In addition to that, if give it time to try something, at least I would say at least a year. And if that doesn't work out, pivot to something else and try to create and try to do something that you're either a passionate about or you're passionate about the outcome you will get. Because a lot of times
Yeah.
when I started my Etsy store, I wasn't passionate about printables. I was doing it because it was another stream of income for me. That's what was passion. I was passionate about that. However, it eventually became a passion, and now I love digital products, and I sell different forms of digital products from my Etsy store to my courses and other things that I sell. So therefore, sometimes passion, um, sometimes it could lead into passion as well. But just make sure that you do something that is enjoyable, because you're gonna go through the hard times that you're gonna want to. But if you enjoy it and you're passionate about it, that's gonna be enough to kind of keep you going even when you hit those obstacles that you're not making money, no one's clicking on your video, there's crickets, no one's like commenting on your post. It just takes time to build a business, but with a lot of work and dedication and consistency, anyone could do it, especially now with all the free resources that we have that we could definitely start with. And then as you start growing, then you could start adding more different tools under your belt that might be something that you have to pay for it then.
Good Lord. Can you hear that? Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, everyone. See you next week. Same time, same place. And in the meantime, keep on rocking in the free world.
Thank you, Sly.
Thank you.